Arcane Hazards. So, these are some Arcane Hazards. There are 6 Arcane Hazards, and they look much like this. A note for those people that like to strip their models, these are actually made in China, not the UK. So it's designed in the UK, made in China. Sometimes when things are made in China by Games Workshop, they're made of a completely different plastic to the rest of their stuff. And sometimes that plastic reacts badly with BioStrip 20, and you might melt your models. So my advice is don't use BioStrip 20 to strip these if you're going to strip them, because it may melt them. This has been a public service announcement. Just something I noticed on the back of the box, these are actually made in China. So I'll be interested to see the casting quality, since they're not made in Nottingham. The terrain's usually been pretty good. I remember they started branching out into having all of their terrain stuff cast in China back when, what was it, the Wall of Martyrs system came out for 40k. And it started off with the casting quality not being great, and they did the Void Shield generator was cast in China as well, and the casting quality on that wasn't great, and the plastic was really weird. So, these are coloured. They're a turquoise colour. So, for those that were wondering, there's no rules associated with these. We just have a single page of instructions and the models. So, pretty big. Obviously, they need to fit on tiles. And, yeah, this is different plastic. You can tell by the listen. This is a more brittle plastic than Games Workshop normally use in the UK. It will probably be fine with BioStrip, but I'm gonna say probably not. Test it on a piece of sprue beforehand. If you feel a need to strip these or use things like pure alcohol on them, because it might react badly. So the casting quality seems, yeah, it's terrain level casting. You're gonna have to do quite a bit of work to make these particularly interesting, because there's not a lot of detail actually in the sculpts, like most of the terrain that they've made. Got ourselves a pile of skulls there on fire, because, you know, everyone knows that skulls burn, as long as you've got magics. And these match up exactly with the blocked and lethal hexes on the new Nightvault boards. They don't match up at all with the ones on the old Shadespire boards, but they match up exactly with the Nightvault ones. And that's a bit of a weird thing. I can understand making them for the blocked hexes, because you're never going to put a model through them, but for the lethal hexes, that's a bit weird, to be honest, because you're going to want to move over those. I mean, you've got 3 of these, which go with the 3 hovery triangles, which don't have bottoms to them. So you're just depending upon people not picking up your piece of terrain and looking underneath and make sure they don't notice that you can see inside them. There's a lot of skulls inside that. This is, I find this design, it's not very good. Like, the rest of it from the box I liked, but the Throne of Nagash I really don't like at all. I think this is really, just really lame. It's difficult to describe exactly why. I think it's too blocky. And just really cheesy. And just super flat. Each of the parts of it is just really flat, without much detail. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the Throne of Nagash, but the rest of the bits I'm looking forward to doing some OSL on. I will paint some of these on the channel. I'm not going to do like a full painting tutorial on each one, because that would be ridiculous. But I might do a project video where I just record myself airbrushing, speed it up, and then talk over it for the entire set, because I probably will paint all of these at once. So yeah, these don't have any correlation to the Shadespire tiles whatsoever. Only for the new Night Vault ones. So if you aren't getting the Night Vault tiles or planning on using them, you don't need these. You don't need them anyway, these are entirely optional. I think it's just because Games Workshop saw there was a demand for aftermarket blocking tile terrain for the Shadespire boards, and they're like, oh, we missed a trick there. So they knocked these out. But, you know, they're not badly designed. They've clearly been done in CAD. Yeah, lots of flat, very flat surfaces, so trying to get some freehand detail or some effect going on these flat surfaces in order to create a magical glow inside will be a thing. I'll personally be using the airbrush to do that. Do the glow first and then paint in the trim afterwards. And things like that. But some stuff you could probably just paint with a rattle can, to be honest. And then do a bit of a dry brush if you're in a rush. But to be honest, if you're in a rush to paint this stuff, I wouldn't even advise you spend money on it in the first place. Either paint these up nice to make your boards look nice, or don't bother, because if you're the kind of person that you don't need this terrain, is the point. You do not need terrain to play Warhammer Underworlds. So if you want this, then you want it because you want to make it look nice. So if you're just going to spray it with a couple of rattle cans and then call it done, I'd say that you're wasting your money. So there's some nice inscriptions on here. Yeah, the casting quality, I can't fault it. The sprues have clearly been actually laid out in Nottingham. So all that's being affected is the actual plastic quality, which isn't as great. Also, they were designed this year. So yeah, might have been a late addition to the old release schedule there. There's a face in the smoke. Faces in places. Yeah, it looks nice. I'm looking forward to painting these just because it'll let me go really crazy with OSL and airbrush effects, which I haven't done for a long time. I kind of swore off OSL, but this is a really good excuse to paint some. So these float over this, which means these will probably be lighting these from underneath as well. It'll be an interesting challenge for painting these. And this pile of glowing skulls goes somewhere. Goes on this? Let's look. Yes. Pile of glowing skulls just on a weird pedestal. Yeah, lots of glowing, lots of skulls. We all know how much I love painting skulls. So there we go. These are the sprues. It's a lovely turquoise colour. But yeah, if you're not going to paint them, I wouldn't even advise getting them, because you don't need them. And if you are going to paint them, then try and do a good job of it at least. Don't just knock them out, because that won't add anything to your game if you just half-ass them. In my opinion, everything is always in my opinion. So there we go. I will paint these in the future, and at the very least, if I paint them, I will definitely do a showcase video. But I will try and get as much of it on camera as I can. There'll be a big video on doing object source lighting with an airbrush, probably, and using these as specific examples. So you might not see much of this guy, but definitely the big triangle things, the pile of skulls, these bits, this broken thing. You'll see all of that in the in a video if I do it on OSL. But if you want to see that, you'll have to vote for it on my Patreon, because it's going to take up a slot. Because it'll probably take me a week, at least a week, to paint all of these in one session, because it's 2 sprues worth of stuff. Pretty big, and sure, it might be mostly airbrush work, but it's not all painting the same thing on each thing, like it is painting a warband. They're all different colours, so yeah, it takes a bit longer. So there we go. That's the Night Vault Arcane Hazards set. No rules, so you don't need them to play the game. Just something nice to have for those of us that really love Warhammer Underworlds, which is me. So there you go. If you liked that close look at those sprues, then give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below with what you'd like to see me paint, or any ideas for how I should paint those. Or anything else that you want to talk about. Yeah, just chat in the comments. That's fun. Yeah, give us a thumbs up. And you can subscribe to my channel there for more Warhammer Underworlds content in the future. I also do kill team stuff as well, and the occasional random model. And you can check out my Patreon there, where you can vote on things and get early access to tutorials. And there's another video you can watch up there. And over there's my social medias, where you can @me about stuff. Show me your pictures. That's fun. So that's it. Thanks for watching my video. Bye bye.